Hey everybody, it's your best friend, Easily Offensive, back with another Cool Key review. This time it's a movie that just found washed up in a ditch. We're gonna get to the bottom of why I found it washed up in a ditch. So a little bit of backstory for you. I saw a brief clip of the animation from this movie a while back, and this one clip made me interested enough to seek it out. Based on the art and animation alone I saw in this short segment, I thought I had a pretty good idea what I was getting into. Batshit insane antics in the afterlife. For about the first third of this movie, I pretty much got exactly what I wanted. Everything was wild, shit was whack, and I was having an absolute blast. So, what in the hell happened for the rest of the movie, huh? Maybe I'm being a bit biased based solely on my impression of like a 10-second clip, but when you take an almost kill-la-kill style setup and change it into a fairy tale style power of friendship full-on malarkey fest, I start to lose my interest. Story goes something like this. Main character Lynn is late for school in true anime fashion, stops to help someone in the middle of the street, fucking dies, and then gets sent to hell, which here is laid out to be a gritty academy where everybody is nuts and the teachers will just murk your shit if you screw around in class too much. Soon, Schoolmaster HELLS, yes, that's really his name, he has demon horns as nips, tells Lynn that if she competes and wins in a volleyball tournament, she can have a wish granted. Of course, her wish is to go back to the real world. Sounds grand, right? Plenty of opportunity for crazy antics, and you'll be right in thinking that, because it is grand. And then I checked the runtime and saw there was still an hour and a half of the movie left, and from there everything just sort of takes a nosedive. Alright, here's the setup. HELLS is based on a 3-volume manga and adapts the story from beginning to end. At least I'm assuming it does. Keep in mind that I haven't actually read the manga, but given the fact that it's only 3 volumes long, I'm assuming that this movie doesn't leave a single thing on the cutting room floor. And herein lies my issue with this movie, and if we're being honest, lots of anime in general. Why on earth do studios feel the need to completely and fully translate the original work into a TV format? It's completely unnecessary, and furthermore completely disregards the purpose of an adaptation. Take Tokyo Ghoul, a series regarded by many to be a complete and utter failure based on the fact that it didn't follow the original manga plot. Granted, Tokyo Ghoul has its own host of problems besides not being a frame-by-frame adaptation, but still, it was different and it tried to be different. Now take something like Dead Man Wonderland, which felt it so worthwhile to adapt each individual frame into animation that it literally just runs out of time and just stops without resolving anything. If something is going to be adapted, for Christ's sake, at least make sure the adaptation works. Chop out the bits that are irrelevant enough to the main story, sprinkle in a little bit of your own flavor, and call it a day. It works, I promise. Just look at season 1 of Blue Exorcist. That shit was just fine, pretty damn good even. The people gave it all sorts of guff for not being a faithful adaptation, and then we had the second season come along, which just kind of retconned the entire first season, even though it already wrapped up. I'm a little mad about it, okay? Sorry, where was I again? Oh yeah, HELLS. It's only a 3-volume manga, but that doesn't mean that everything needed to be adapted. Really, this story should have just started in the same place and ended after the volleyball match.
Oh, but easy, that's only like 45 minutes of the movie. That cuts out so much important stuff.
Alright, listen, motherfucker, I'm aware, but throw in some character moments between Lynn and some of the other people she meets in hell, shove a training montage in there or something, and then give me a climax with characters that I actually care about. I don't care if it's cliched, whatever, I just want to give a shit. Because let me tell you what I don't care about is anything in this movie past the volleyball match, because it's just a bunch of stupid people screaming about friendship and it's fucking dumb as hell. And that's not even including the fact that this movie is just shy of 2 hours, and boy oh boy do you ever feel it. So much here could have been reworked to tighten the pacing and narrative, and as a result this movie left me feeling both exhausted and bored, which is not a good combination, let me tell you what. I mean shit, even the animation stops trying after the volleyball match. During the match we get lots of dynamic angles and cool money shots, and after the match it's just a bunch of boring ass talking heads and stupid mumbo jumbo that very nearly put me to sleep. And based on my impression of that short clip I mentioned before, this was not a movie I expected to bore me. At least the art was interesting enough, although I guarantee it won't be to everybody's tastes. At times, the sketchiness and abstract line work really works to sell some of the more over-the-top moments, but other times it just really makes key points look half-finished. I was gonna assume that the Madhouse B team worked on this one while everybody else was dragging pens over paper for Redline, which wouldn't even hit theaters for another 3 years. I have no actual fact to back that statement up, that's just my theory. I did enjoy the character designs a lot. I felt like they complemented the zany bits extremely well. Again, maybe not everybody's particular flavor, as the characters are all part of that same scratchy line work style, but they do have fun little details, like Headmaster HELLS' demon horn nipples. What the fuck? As far as the actual characters themselves, I didn't honestly find any of them to be too interesting. I mean, when you have your main character literally end the film as the actual mother of Cain and Abel incarnate, I'm going to hope that there's a decent story to bridge the gap between points A and points B. Unfortunately, there's not, so one scene she's just a regular girl, and the next she's just pulling people back from a death beyond the afterlife, and I honestly just can't find it in me to care a whole lot when stupid things keep getting ex machina drilled straight up my rectum. Other characters include HELLS, who starts as a ridiculously threatening baddie and ends the film screaming about friendship. Let's see, there's Mario, a token minority, who starts the film as a good friend and sidekick and ends up screaming about friendship. Yeah, you get the idea from there. I suppose the only character I actually liked a little was Steeler, if only because she played into a favorite trope of mine where the silent, standoffish character ends up making a heroic sacrifice, but she also literally had like 3 lines of dialogue, so I mean... You know, a great man once said,
"My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined."
And it sucks nuts because I actually really wanted to like this movie. Most of the shows I give a negative review to, I already know that I'm going to get myself into it and give it a negative review, and I just want to know why it sucks. HELLS was a different story, and I'm ready to put this thing in the grave and send it into the afterlife. Do I recommend you watch HELLS?